So what's the question that's come in?
I have a hard time focusing. Do you have any tips on what I can do about it?
I have a hard time focusing, and do I have any tips? Yes, I do. We have to talk about focusing from a much bigger perspective, because usually by the time that we have come to having a hard time focusing at work, there are other things. It's just one part of a chain reaction, if that makes sense. So the root cause usually is that we are really stressed out. We might even have workplace trauma, and we might be overwhelmed, having absolutely too much to do, or buried in busy work, whatever it is that makes us feel that we're never caught up, never enough, and we have this stress that is continuous. So with long-term stress, what happens is that usually, and I talk with a lot of women every week, and I know that one of the things that happen is that we gain weight. Now, a very, very few % of us actually lose weight from being too stressed out, but most of us put on weight. Remember, stress is this chemical cocktail of cortisol, and you have this poison that goes out into your system of adrenaline, and the response system, the way we respond, is with a host of different physical, mental, and emotional consequences. Focus sort of comes a little further down on the list for most people. In my experience, what I see is that first we do gain weight, we don't feel good, we have some health and pain issues, we definitely have a hard time sleeping. And it could be having a hard time falling asleep, having a hard time having really poor sleep quality while we sleep. So we end up waking up exhausted, and or we wake up around 3:30 from some kind of anxiety thought of, oh my God, did I check that email? Oh my God, and we have too many thoughts, etc. Again, coming from stress. So you might already have things that have happened to you physically, and you might already have interrupted sleep patterns and not a healthy sleep pattern. And then we come to not being able to focus. But please know that focus is not something that happens in isolation. It's part of this chain reaction where, unfortunately, the next steps aren't pretty. This is where a lot of us dive into the mental consequences, other mental consequences, which could be anxiety, it could be depression, it could be a terrible moodiness. So we have to think about, so that's why I'm trying to answer your question, but I can't answer it in isolation, because you have to recognize where that fits on a decline that happens from stress. And the decline continues. This is not something that automatically just fixes itself. And we can't just focus on, now I'm going to give you 3 tips to be better at focusing, because it won't solve the base problem. And soon enough, you're going to find yourself making mistakes at work. If you can't focus, you're going to make mistakes. And you're going to find yourself being not yourself, because you might be more pissy and moody and angry. And if you manage to sort of save face at work all day, you come home and you dump it on your family, So that it's just a chain reaction that might end up with you missing the promotion, or losing the job, or missing your opportunity to negotiate a much better salary for yourself. So instead of thinking about it as an isolated thing, lack of focus is part of a much bigger event. And that's why I do what I do, and I want to bring light to these functions that we have within us that actually stand in the way, and how easy, once we get the insights, it's not that hard to switch over to another kind of chain of events where you start from a non-stressful idea or a non-stressful state in yourself. And then you have a trickle-down effect of positive consequences when it comes to your health, your mental state, and your emotional state. So even though I know I didn't answer the question with, here are the tips, what I can give you is an opportunity to speak with me. And we can see, where are you in this chain of events? And anyone who resonates with this, anyone who wants to take a step from where they feel stuck, where they don't feel like they're living up to their full potential, including actually being happy and balanced in life, because believe it or not, that's possible while making money and thriving, book a call with me and we'll talk about it. We'll see where we can go. And we see how we can bridge that gap between where you are and where you want to find yourself. And this is absolutely free for any leading lady to speak with me. You'll find a link somewhere around here where you can sign up in my calendar, and let's talk about it. Let's see what kind of solutions we can find when I see more of where you are on this downward spiral, and specifically where you want to go, and that's how we know what answers to give you. I hope all of that made sense, and I hope that it is helpful. And please, the breakthrough call is completely free. Just book it, and we'll see where we go from there, okay? I hope that was helpful, and I hope that if you have any other questions, whoever that might be, just post it in the link or post it in the thingamajigger below, and PM me on these various social media platforms where this will be aired. So there's so much more life to be had than to feeling that your own capacities and your own talents are slipping away from you. We don't have to be there, and I hope to speak to you soon. Take care now.